Hi, it's Ricky of Moshville Times here once again. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing something a bit different. Thanks to Kendo and the boys at BrainBath, fellow YouTubers Bowels of Retribution with Marc and Mr. Death Doom Metalhead himself, Liam. We've been given an advance copy of the album HeadHunted, and we're going to try and review it for you. So, first of all, how the devil are you guys? How are things going with your channels? Are you feeling good?
Go on, Mark, you go first.
Yeah, really well, thank you. Yeah, as always with life, busy. So
Yeah.
making videos isn't always easy between children and a career, you know. But yeah, really good as always. Years and years into it, and still really enjoying doing it when I can.
Perfect, perfect. What about your good self, Liam?
Exactly the same. Yeah. I struggle these days to find the time to do a video, but when I do them, I really enjoy it still. I love pimping new music out to people, so as long as people still watch it for that reason, it's all good.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people don't know how long it takes to do things behind the scenes and do your research and everything else, but here we all are, here we are. So, as we all know, Brainbath were formed around August of 2020 to record music in the old school vein of autopsy, obituary, and bolt thrower. So, with their self titled EP, Brainbath have stamped their authority on not just the Scottish death metal scene, but the UK death metal scene as a whole. So they go out their way in supporting every band and getting them to work together throughout the scene, promoting other small businesses like Seabass, who are doing vinyl for the band, for Headhunted, and organising Dead of Winterfest and so on and so on. But now the band are making a big step on August the 7th. Brainbath are going to be releasing their debut album Headhunted, containing 8 songs of absolute filth. So you guys then, so not that we've had a lot of time to listen to the album, thanks Kendall. What was your overall first impression after hearing the album?
Who's going first? You have to tell us.
Go for it, Liam.
Go on. Well, for me, it was an interesting one actually because I kind of knew what to expect in regards to sound because they have a
Yeah,
very distinct sound. Like obviously Ken's vocals sounds like an angry dog barking most of the time, so I kind of expected that. But yeah, the overall first impression was it's thick, it's dense, it's very
yeah,
heavy, and the drumming I noticed that's the biggest step up for me so
yes,
far. My first impressions of listening to it was just like wow, that's just go. It just goes, and it really does go. So yeah, that was my first impression. Yeah.
100%. What about your good self, Mark?
Yeah, I was impressed straight off the bat with it, and I like how they've got that old school sound, but you can hear that modern death metal sound
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
And there's a little bit of all sorts. I found they incorporated a little bit of thrashiness here and there. Quando's vocals for me were the top tier now. Do you know he's got a certain style, and you know it's him. But there's something more in this on this album compared to their EP. But yeah, really heavy, really heavy.
yeah.
Really impressed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I go with what you guys have said. Carrying on from what you said, Mark, I think it has a mixture of everything. The debut EP, Brain Bath, was just maybe like a homage to like old school death metal, whereas with this album, you've got groove, you've got speed, you've got death doom, you've even got progressive death metal. So, and in between all amongst that, you've still got like room for us moshers to mosh at. So it has absolutely everything. So listeners, be prepared. This is a stellar album. But did the album meet, exceed, or fall short of your expectations, do you think?
For me, it exceeded it. I mean, I expected good stuff because it's been a while since that EP, and
Yeah,
they're quite a bunch of popular lads now, aren't they? So you know full well. I mean, hey, Anal Kendo is as well. Like it was going to be very to the point. It wasn't going to be like a fanny album where it's just all over the place and you just kind of it's heavy. It's you can see it's been well thought out and they're taking it really seriously because that EP is really fun for me. It's a
yeah,
fun listen, and it's a bit silly. It's all over the place. It's raw, and that's what it should be. Whereas this album, it's very serious, very angry, and it sounds big. If that's the best way I could describe it, it sounds big. Like, they mean business with this, for me.
absolutely, absolutely. What about yourself, Mark?
Absolutely, yeah. It really did exceed what I was expecting. I say that I was knowing Kendo and the guys kind of personally. He talked it up quite a lot, Kendo.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kendo being Kendo. And to be honest, he was right to do so because it is on another level. I think Liam hit the nail on the head. He said the debut EP was fun and it was a bit visceral, a
Mm.
bit raw. This is another level for me. It really is. It really is. Sounds heavy. It sounds well thought out. It kind of you feel like they've got a little bit more of an identity now
Yeah.
in their sound, and really, really impressed with it. That's probably what I'm going to say at the end of most of what you asked me. Really, really impressed with it.
Absolutely. I mean, again, for me, it definitely exceeded it. The structure of the songs, the time signatures, the riffage, the instruments, the vocals. Um, as a whole, it kind of surprised me, but didn't surprise me. But the album went in different directions than what the EP did, and I'm sure that we're going to be discussing that as we go along. But BrainBath recorded and engineered the album at Deep Storm Productions in Straven with Kevin Hare. The beauty with Kevin is that he doesn't just tie himself down to one genre like death metal. He brings his vast experience of other genres and bands like the Rhubarb to King Witch to even our label mates Blasphemer and of course Brainbath. He knows how they work very well with on recording. So, how would you describe Headhunted's overall sound on the album?
So, I mean, I was expecting it a very dense guitar sound because they have it really scooped tone. I haven't seen them live a few times and what they use gear wise. I kind of expected it to sound like that anyway. But it's nice to actually be really able to hear it like as clear as day now, because obviously that EP was just recorded like someone holding a microphone in the middle of a room.
Yeah,
So you can actually get the full force of the amp now, and you hear the guitars being really driven. But the thing for me, sound wise, is the drums, because the drums they sound mint on this album. They really do. Like they've got that kind of black metal, visceral kind of
yeah,
feel to it, but it's a death metal album. Like you could say, there's lots of little pinches of influences in it, but the sound is it's a kind of a pure. To me, anyway, it sounds like a '90s death metal album in the
yeah.
way the tone of it and the feel of it. Like if you said to me before I even knew who Brain was before this album came out in '93, I'd be like, I can tell that, you can really hear where the influences are coming from and the sound and what the vibe is. And with the synths they've put in there as well, they're kind of eerie synths on some of the
Yeah.
tracks. It gives it that 80s kind of horror vibe, which then again makes it feel like really old school. So yeah, I mean, it just sounds fucking horrible in a good way.
It
Absolutely,
does.
mate.
It does sound really heavy. The guitars, everything sounds really, really old school. I think, and it's the kind of the riffing that makes it a bit more modern sound. I agree with Liam. The drums sound excellent. I think some bands to achieve that heaviness, they go for that cavernous sound. This
Yeah,
is heaviness. The heaviness is in the riffs and
Mm.
the pummeling rhythms and tempos. And it sounds really, really good. It's not too down tuned, but it's still heavy.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, with it being, we've only had this album for a short time to listen to. I've listened to it on my phone, so the bass I wasn't quite picking that up, but I'm putting that down to the fact that it was listened to on my phone. So to hear it actually on vinyl, which is my next step, I'll be really impressed to hear that. But yeah, just a lovely. It's got that perfect blend between old school and modern. Do you know?
100%, 100%. And I have to agree with the three of you. I'm going to have to ask Mr. Gillen what he's done to that snare sound, how he created that snare sound, because it was definitely wow. As soon as I heard it, I was like, yes, you're the man. Absolutely brilliant stuff. But we also have Arthur Risk, who has mastered bands such as 200 Stab Wounds and Blood Incantation, Master Headhunted. So, with you two having recording experience, then what difference can the mastering make, and were you impressed with how this sounded overall?
So mastering is a weird thing with mastering because you can technically have anyone, and you'll get a good sound per se. But for
Yeah,
me, my experiences with like we had Greg for the new album do ours, whereas before a few years back we had a German bloke from Imperium, very different sounding. Like the bass is turned up a bit more, or the drums sound a little bit different there. So as long as you find someone who understands the genre and gets if you give them like the overall, I want it to be and feel like this,
yeah,
you'll get what you hopefully want, and you can tell they've gone for that. We want an evil sounding death metal, it's aggressive, it's old school inspired, bands. So you can really tell. But yeah, mastering is all down to preference, I think, is what the mastering ear wise, what he's going to choose to kind
Yeah,
of put to the forefront.
yeah. Would you go along with that, Mark?
Yeah, yeah, it's not something really that I have a lot of knowledge on, but yeah, you can. I don't know. I suppose they know what they wanted, and
Yeah,
I don't really know whether mastering a one person can master better than another person, or if it's just how those people feel and the way they. Um, I've had more to do with the production of things than the mastering.
yeah,
But whatever the guys in Brainbath were hoping to achieve, I
so,
think production wise and mastering wise, they've done that. Because it does sound
yeah.
really evil and really heavy.
I will
100.
say as well with
Mhm.
mastering, sorry, Ricky,
Yep.
depends on what they have in their studio to master with. Because like with Greg, for example, when I've got his studio, he's got all these little speakers here and there, and he can really fine tune it and pick out all the little frequencies. Whereas some guys will just have a really basic setup, and you can really tell on some albums that, from a premium studio who's mastered it to like a budget one, you can tell the difference a lot of that as well.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate your expertise, both of you. So thank you. But we're going to talk a wee bit about the tracks. Like, which track grabbed your attention immediately and why?
So for me, the strongest track on this album, hands down, and I've listened to this one about 10 times, so have the kids, in the car, is Exhumed and Ingested. For
Okay.
that intro with the dual harmonies, it's very doomy. It's incredibly Deaf Doom. I mean, I was going to like it, wasn't I? And but it's got those triplet chug riffs in there. It's got everything, but it's really eerie and evil sounding. And to me, that overall sound of that song, it has everything I love in death metal, and it just flows beautifully. Like the first two tracks of the album just fucking
Yeah,
rinse your face off, blasts,
yeah,
super heavy. So if you like that kind of style of death metal, you're going in strong there. But for me, that album kind of grows in track three onwards, and it kind of changes and transforms. And that track, yeah, hands down, it will be the best song off that album for me. I don't think I've changed my mind at all on that.
perfect, perfect. What about your good self, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, straight away as soon as it started, I was impressed with it. But I have to say, when I heard Exhumed and Ingested, and then followed by Terror Has No Shape, it was instantly for me between those two because I felt like they'd placed them really well in the album as well. Do you know, it
Yeah,
was like it was melting your face, and then it just gave you a little minute. And yeah, if I was out the two, I don't know. I probably would go with the one that Liam said, Exhumed and Ingested, because that intro, it reeks of Death Doom.
Mm,
And as soon as I heard it, it doesn't get too carried away as well. It keeps a nice flow, do you know? And then into the next
yeah.
song as well. I mean, we'll get into that, I suppose, a little bit more. But that was the first song. Some of them chugging riffs, and that was the first one that made me think, oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly the same. Yeah.
Well, you guys went tracks three and four. I'm going to go tracks four and five. Um, for me, Terror Has No Shame. I mean, before it has three tracks of relentless old school death metal. But here we have like the boat thrower esque groove and riffage with solos from them both, which I must admit I'm very much looking forward to seeing them play live, replicate it live. But then there was a song right after as well, Plague of Flies, where Mr. Gillen behind that drum kit nearly ventured into blast beats and then just reminding us what death metal is about. Just fast, tremolo riffage and double bass to the extreme. And that's just what I love in my death metal. So
Mm.
you went three and four, I went four and five. But all good, all good. Um, but yes, so how would you say the band's songwriting has evolved since the EP?
So for me, I've noticed it's very much more of a structured. The album to me has a kind of like a theme where they go full on blast fest and they kind of then filter it down. And I think that's a conscious effort as well, where a lot of the
Yeah,
songwriting has been that we know what we can do, but let's try and mix it up a bit. And I did notice a lot of the solos are very like wah heavy, very Kirk Hammett wah heavy, and it got that kind of almost like classic rock vibe in some of it as well. You can hear that coming through in some of the solos, like very Van Halen-esque in some tapping
You think
sections
that's
and shit.
Kendo doing them solos?
Well, probably. I mean, I could picture him wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and fucking big aviators on and stuff like that as he did it. But like, yeah, songwriting wise, it's very. There's a theme, isn't it, with Brain Bath? It's all about
Yeah,
murdering, death, and all that kind of thing. And the songs are structured where they start heavy, aggressive, they get moody in the middle, and then they kind of finish you off at the end. And
yeah,
I've noticed every single song. I mean, I will say there's one song I didn't quite like, but overall album, it's got a very much a structure that you can follow along with, and it's great. Yeah.
yeah. What about your good self, Mark?
Yeah, yeah, it's whatever Liam said there. He's
Yeah,
pretty much put it. He's put it perfectly. It's really, it's just it's nicely executed. Everything about it, everything. Some of those lead guitar parts are just they're put in the right place. Do you
yeah,
know? It feels right. It feels like the one thing I did think to myself is it doesn't feel like there's any real filler riffs in there. You
Mm.
know, they managed to keep it going. The drums, the variation on the tempos of the drums. I love how sometimes the drums are fast and the guitars are keeping this sort of more metronome rhythm, a bit like sort of Pestilence in their heyday. Do you know?
yeah,
It's not it's never chaotic as much as it's blasting in times. There's just a real nice sound structure to everything.
yeah.
And I think Liam's right. I think it's a very it's well considered. You can tell the band have thought about this and what they're going from. You know, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's structured really well.
Yeah,
I think. Do you know, really, really well. And
yeah.
like I say, it's all killer and no filler in my ears.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they've taken 4 years to do this, and they were fed up with me saying like, get it done and get it out there and all the rest of it. But they've built on their solid foundations. And even though I hate saying this, I hate musicians progressing. But they certainly progressed as musicians. But that's what class is for the lads. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant stuff. But is there any other songs that you would like to pick out from the album then that maybe not your favourite, but also really, really strong songs?
So for me, this, I mean, like I say, like, you know what my strongest song is, but I really liked track 8, Desensitized to Dismemberment. I could picture um that live and the chanting of that chorus. That had that vibe to me. That I think they deliberately wrote that song for a live environment to get people shouting and getting in your face. It had that kind of like very memorable chorus, and that's quite rare in death metal. A lot of the times, a lot of newer bands will just write solid pieces of music, but that
Yeah,
has kind of like a more of an anthem kind of vibe to me. That song, it had that fun element which the EP had.
yeah.
Like that track especially was like the fun song. But then you've got the one. I mean, I wasn't too keen. I don't know if you want to talk about that yet, or that's one of your questions or not. I can't remember. But what was it? Gateways to Oblivion. That's a
Interesting.
very different song to the others on the album for me, and I like it. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike it, but it kind of tailed off a bit too long on the end for me on that one. That's what stood out on this album. Everything else is absolutely like Mark said, all fucking top dog for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, yeah, I struggled with that one a little bit because it didn't have the same atmosphere as the other songs. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely interesting, really interesting. And I'm going to turn that on its head. But Mark, any other songs that reached out to you, mate?
I
And
don't know if
one maybe that you didn't?
I don't know if it's something that's in the ears of these death doom metal guitarists you've got on this right now,
Yeah,
but
you
I
picked
was
the worst people.
exactly the same. Desensitized and Dismemberment. It was that end riff. If that doesn't get the stage when they play live, if that doesn't get the stage full of people ready to
Exactly.
dive off it, I would
Yeah.
be amazed.
Yeah,
It's got a real. If you like the third and fourth albums by Carcass, for
Mm.
me that song reeks of latter day Carcass. It's just brilliant. It's brilliant.
yeah,
And to touch on what Liam was talking about, Gateway to Oblivion. I mean it's over 8 minutes long. It's a death metal band with an 8 minute long song.
Mm.
That's venturing into the realms of death doom. 8 minutes. Do you
Mm.
know? And I think it's probably the most progressive song on the album. So
Absolutely.
it's probably one of those that's going to take maybe a little bit longer to settle. We've had not a lot of time with these songs, as we well
Exactly.
know. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm with Liam all the way.
Well, I thought that song itself again was okay. I definitely think it's going to take a couple of listens to it before I'm happy with it. But the last one, Desensitized to Dismemberment, one, I don't like it because I'll probably never be able to say it on the radio. And two, but also I didn't like the chorus.
You didn't
Um,
like that.
I didn't like the carcass riffage. It was the one. I maybe need to listen to it a few times more, but it was the one song off the album where I was like, don't know. Um, the sixth song, as you said, um, I did like it. Did it fit? Maybe not. Maybe yes. But definitely the last one for me, I just didn't like the album. But there's the song. But there's still a lot about the last song that I did like, the riffs and whatnot. I just didn't like the chorus. So
Interesting.
apologies for that, BrainBath. But it's an honest opinion. It's an honest opinion. So, so where would you say that the album sits within the current Scottish and UK death metal scene?
So, I mean, those guys are so popular, them two, aren't they? So, when that gets released, you know full well it'd be like when Scotland play the World Cup. The whole country will get behind it. They'll be invading pubs all over the country. Brain Bath, they'll love it, and you know full well they'll get a massive like a
Yeah,
massive positive feedback from that. And in the UK scene, it's a funny one because you get there's more south you go. A lot of the Scottish bands aren't really known unless you're in that kind of underground like social media death metal scene. Whereas a lot of
yeah,
London is like quite snobby, and there's a lot of death metal bands down that way that don't even know those bands exist up the top. They stick to their little cliques down below. So it'll
yeah,
be interesting to see how it goes, and like if they get reviewed in magazines, that what the feedback will be like that way. I mean, I can't see it being negative in any way or shape or form
100%.
but then we all know them really well, and they're really lovely blokes. So it's kind of hard to be nasty about it or anything like, or not like it. But and I like it. Obviously, I would say if I didn't. But yeah, I can't see there being any negative feedback unless it goes overseas and you get snobby reviewers that way who just think it's another death metal album. But I think there's a lot of variation in that album to keep a lot of people interested and kind of spark on tours and all that kind of shit that'll probably come with that album.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I think they're already a firm favourite within the Scottish scene. From the gigs I've been to that they've played, there's not a lot of people in the crowd that don't get up on stage and dive off during their songs. I am one of those because I value my hips at my age. But yeah, I totally agree. I don't think there's a lot for you to criticise about it. I think it's got a bit of everything. I think it's got what the modern death metal fans enjoy. I think it's got what the old school death metal fans enjoy.
Yeah,
It's it will more than solidify their spot in the Scottish scene for sure. I agree with Liam again with the UK scene. I know not a big country, but you do have these little scenes here and there around, and maybe the boys in Brainbath will venture down south, or over the coming sort of months after the album comes out, and help spread the word.
Mm.
But yeah, it's. I think if you know more than us, Ricky, you know the Scottish scene. I think Brainbath are revered anyway, aren't they? They're
yeah.
right up there.
Yeah, well, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, not just Scotland, but as you said, the UK scene itself is thriving at the moment with death metal. I mean, in Scotland back in the day, you only really had like Corpse and in Extremis having a chance of making it. But nowadays in Scotland, you've got Brain Bath, you've got the Coffin Mulches, you've got the Penny Coffins. You've got them doing the old school stuff. You've got Spirit Warden coming through. You've got the Young Team and Jaundice. There's so many Scottish bands, but even the UK, you've got your own band, Consecration. You've got Blasphemer, Malediction, Death Collector, Zealot Cult, Severe Lacerations. They're all writing stuff at the moment. I know Zealot Cult, for example, their album's coming out next month. There's so much stuff hopefully coming out before the end of the year. I cannot remember UK death metal being so prominent.
It's mad, isn't it? Since COVID, it's just fucking exploded with bands everywhere. Like it used to be really easy for me to get a gig like before COVID, whereas now it's fucking impossible because there's like 18 bands ahead of you who've already
Yeah.
messaged the promoter, and you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. It's really been a pleasure doing this with you. We'll need to do it again. Maybe we can think of talking about the UK death metal scene as a whole or something like that. I've enjoyed this. So that is Headhunted. It's got very, very positive reviews. But as being in, oh, for fuck's sake. We need to do this more often. We should maybe do like a UK death metal special because I've enjoyed this thoroughly. So, being a journalist then, I always want to know what's happening next. So, I know I'm a wee bit impatient, but just after Headhunted then, where do you see BrainBath going with the next release? What do you see them doing?
I reckon they're going to go down the coffin mulch route because if you remember when they did their EP with the skull on it rotting in the sewage thing, that just went mental, didn't it? And
Yeah,
everyone jumped on that, and they've toured London, they've done festivals like Incineration Fest, and I think they'll do the same thing just because they're so likable and because they host their own festival as well. There's an instant connection with other promoters, and then you can talk to other bands. They'll want to get up to Scotland, so they'll invite you down there. So I think they'll just do tour after tour, show after show, and they'll
yeah,
just become a household name in the kind of UK death metal scene like Coffin Mulch did, and
yeah,
just Ken will start pimping out merch left, right, and centre, and they'll have to do repress after repress. And I generally do think that will happen. Like they'll become massive. Like I don't think it'll just disappear after a year or two, and then they'll be like the odd
100%.
show. I think they'll be around for ages.
100%. What about your good self, Mark?
Yeah, well, let's hope they don't leave it 4 years until the next album, because I could be retired by then, at my age. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do hope that the Coffee Mulch did well, I think, because they got themselves out there and they travelled around and like Liam said, they pimped themselves out there, got their name around, and pretty much synonymous. Their name is synonymous with Scottish death metal.
yeah,
Brainbath have got the potential to do exactly the same. And as you well know, with bands playing live, getting yourself out that's how you spread your name around.
yeah,
They're such lovely guys, and they're so integral in the Scottish scene. I'm sure they'll do a good job of
yeah,
getting themselves out there to more of the masses.
yeah.
Um, is this the CD's being put out by Memento Mori
That's right.
over in Spain, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
So straight away, that's a good thing for them. Not that the UK labels aren't a good thing. I suppose it's a bit more of a European base for Raul over in Spain will get them out there. He's got a good network of distros and what have you.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd just like to see him getting out there playing.
I think as
100%.
well, saying as well, they are very much a live band, aren't they? So as soon
Yeah,
as you see them
Yes.
live once, you're like, fucking hell, they're great fun. And then you're gonna go see them again, aren't you? So I do think they'll just be tour, gig, 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 and everyone will
yeah,
love it. And then they obviously then buy the music, buy the merch. So yeah.
And
yeah.
there's a few riffs they've got on this album that I am looking forward to seeing
I'd say
live.
like that third track for me, seeing that live will be fucking ace. That'd be great. If it sounds wank live, it'll ruin it for me, but I'm sure it won't.
And I do hope that when they're playing some of those solos, I'm hoping that Kendo's going to come out on the stage with one of those like skeleton skull guitars, like George Lynch, because he's got that going on.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Totally agree with everything you said. My overall thoughts on the album is that they've perfectly mixed each individual's taste and put them into the songs. So I think you've got Kendo's more traditional metal and Gateways to Oblivion. You've got Gillan and Garrett's blackened influenced Brained. You've also got Kondo's sick love of horror and gore with Kemper, which I thought was a homage to the debut EP as well. And you've just got Diego on bass, just keeping them all together. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant stuff. So overall, everybody knows that Cause of Death is my favourite death metal album of all time. So this for me is not Cause of Death, but what we maybe have here is Brainbath's Slowly We Rot. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what these guys do next. And like you said, Mark, they better not take 4 years to do it. Because we're all very, very impatient, especially when it sounds this good. So Um, I would just like to thank you, Mark, and thank you, Liam, for coming on to do this. This is the first, might not be the last. We shall just have to see. But make sure that you pre-order the vinyl on BrainBath's Bandcamp page, and make sure you also got a ticket to Ivory Blacks on September the 11th with Repute, Graveghoul, and Death Collector. You guys get any final words to start off with yourself, Mark?
Yeah, talking about BrainBath playing live, they are venturing a bit further south to Manchester, 3rd of October, I believe, at the Barker Blast Fest, along
Yes.
with Liam and Consecration. So any of you guys in the UK who are interested in seeing BrainBath live, and I highly recommend it because they are very, very good live. That's for 3rd of October at the
Yeah,
Rebellion in Manchester.
certainly is. Certainly is. And I look forward to seeing you there, Mark. What about your good self, Liam?
Absolutely.
So I will say, cheers to these two legends doing this video with me. Obviously, they both have their own social media, platforms and that. So when I do the video for this, I will leave links below. So please follow them, especially Ricky churns out content every week, compared to me and Mark who do it once a month, if that. So please support these guys because they are pivotal to this little
Absolutely.
UK scene. Because obviously, the more you do social media wise, the more people hear about it. So obviously, Brain Bath, everyone like that. We all love Brain Bath. So support the channels, follow the pages, all the boring shit like that. It means the world to all us lot because it helps things grow and people support it, and then you can get on board, get new music in your ears. Happy days, all right?
Absolutely. So thank
Amen
you
to
once
that.
again, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this, and I look forward to seeing you in Manchester, if not before. Cheers,
Cheers,
gentlemen.
mate.